Hello, David Bradley in the chat room. Oh, hi, Penny. I have been to the basement, and I have here an MSD SD-2. I have not turned it on. I have plugged it in. I don't know when it was last connected to anything. It does not have its case, which I did not remember, but you know. So, I guess it is time to turn it on. It makes the usual noise that it used to. It never did the head banging. It never did. If I didn't have all these drives here, but I do, I wonder if I could push these back gently. Oh my golly. Maybe I can move this down here. Maybe not. There's still, it's smaller. Maybe it's fit there now. All right, I need to get the PET to IEEE cable. Oh my word, that is so incredibly secure. On this 4040. Whew. It's a good thing to screw them in. Now, my gut tells me that if I've had if I've had the top of this thing, I wonder if I can get this down okay. Come on, power cord. Okay. My gut tells me, as I was saying, if I've had the top off, who knows when, maybe there was trouble. I've heard most of them have trouble, and it is supposedly on the actual drives. Oh, here. Just a second here. On the actual drive. Maybe that's a little low. On the actual drives are where the trouble is. Anyway, we'll turn on this PET. Let's see. We will see. What is down? Oh, the P key is stuck down. That would do it. Well, let's send it a command. Device not present. Interesting. All right, well, let's try device not present. We'll try number 9. Nope. Yeah, I don't think this is going to work. 10. It would be crazy if it was 11, and it's not. All right, so it makes the noises. And we are attached. And we're turned on. Device not present error. Well, there's another thing I should check. Is this good? You know what? It may be. There's been a bit of a pull on this cable. Always check the cables. Okay, I heard something over there. I heard something. Well, let's see. It's a tight one to get it in. Oh my. It's working. Both drives are working. It's a miracle. Alright, I don't feel like torturing this. It is kind of loading slowly. Let's see. I want to look at drive 0. Are they both the same disk? They are the same disk. Or maybe I will just do the copy thing. It's working! It's a miracle! Copy till OK. Yes, we have not read from it. And even though this is working, so far, and one of the other things is this works faster. Like, I don't know if you can hear that clicking, but that's the drive formatting. That is way faster than a 4040. Anyway, years ago I got one of these and said, oh, I'll torture it and see what happens. And I killed it. And that was not good. Okay, so it is copying. Seeming to be okay. Anyway, I should look up online what the fix is for these things, because undoubtedly it's going to need it. Excuse me. I have no doubt. Because apparently they all eventually will need it. Well, let us see. We can take out our spectacles. Okay. MSD. SD. Dash 2 disk drive fix. Converting an MSD1 to an MSD2. Auto-duplicated disk in 9 seconds. Repair and CLD upgrade. Okay, there are some things here. Full text of MSD Super Disk Drive Operating Manual, version B. Alright. Wow, converting an MSD SD1 to an SD-2. How to duplicate disk. Anyway, there's also a thing here about repair and CLD upgrade for Commodore for this drive. Repairing an MSD and upgrading ROMs. Oh, this This looks helpful. Let us have a look. A tribute to the greatest computer in history, a place where Commodore geeks can discuss anything and everything. Okay, MSD, SD-1, super drive repair. There are pictures. Aha. Oh dear. So apparently, there are I thought adding a section on the repair of the MSD1 and MSD2 SuperDrive would be helpful to all out there who have the common problem of an old MSD drive that just quit working. One of the most common problems with the MSD drives is the capacitors. The capacitors installed on the drive motor circuit boards leak electrolyte. After years of electrolyte leaking, the corrosion begins to eat away at the traces of the circuit board and cause damage to nearby circuit board components. As you can see in this picture, the leaking capacitor has spewed electrolyte all over the surrounding area, causing the traces to be eaten, as pointed out by the arrow. Well, anyway. The ICs near the capacitors also need to be removed and checked for underlying corrosion caused by the leaking capacitors. In the following pictures, you see where ICSN760N ICSN7406N has been removed to further clear any damage. Well, I will look at this further. I shall. Oh, it also has codes for errors. I'm just trying to see who wrote this, so I can say who wrote this. It's done. I don't see who wrote this. It's from 2011. It is. Oh, there's a place for the manual. It does say a big thanks to Ray Carlson and his work for helping the Commodore community continue to lead the way into the 21st century. Okay, so this, I guess the fellow, or at least his name on here, is GenCom64. Oh, yeah, GenCom. Okay, GenCom64. Hi, my name is Dave. I've been a Commodore computer enthusiast for 26 years. I received my first Commodore 64 as a Christmas present in 1983, along with a few choice games. I was introduced to the Commodore by my uncle, who also taught me basic programming. I have a rather large collection of various computers, accessories, and software. View my complete profile. I'm not even sure what this. So he's from the United States. Oh, well, the compute profile is pretty much the same thing. Anyway, perhaps I will write to him later. I do want to try backup D0 to D1, because this thing will haul compared to a 4040, and like you can hear it, it's moving. Anyway, I don't want to torment this too much, but I do want to see about getting the drives out of here and doing the fix before anything tragic has happened. Because it sounds like the tragedy, it's kind of like the batteries in the Amiga 2000 and the 500 and others that use, or I guess the 4000, others that use those little things. They were killers. Different, but they would leak stuff and ruin circuit boards. And that So I was thinking I would be digging into this because, of course, it didn't work, or it'd come up with some flash codes or some other thing. And it works. So the thing about these things that is really, really cool, and this is why they were so popular amongst all kinds of people, is they have, well, obviously I'm running this off the PET. I don't have to use any interface. It has an IEEE interface. It takes, you take the PET to IEEE cable, the backup is done. I should have. Maybe I'll do another one. TI string equals quote 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 quote colon copy 1 to D0 quote print TI string. Do that again. Anyway, so it has the IEEE interface. It also has the serial interface. So if somebody who had a PET and a 64 or a VIC or a 128 or Commodore 16 or anything at all. Uh-oh, what happened? Oh, okay, you know what? Oh, I know what I should have done. Okay, when it came out of it, because I didn't tie up the bus. I should have said print DS string. Then it would have waited. So anyway, as soon as it's done, I will be ready to do the TI dollar sign. By the way, TI dollar sign is a way to keep time in a PET. And I imagine other machines. So you can set the time. That's what I often do when I write a little program to see how things are going with a disk drive or other things. I set the timer at 0. And at the end of it, I have it tell, because if I have one of these drives, say do 10 copies, and it tells me it finished it in 15 minutes, unless I know that the disk is really empty, it didn't work. It might tell me it worked, but it didn't work. It should be between 40 and 45 minutes, depending. Anyway, so yes, so these were, it's done. Wow. 1 minute and 27 seconds. Probably that means 1 minute and 26. Excellent. Anyway, so maybe I'll turn it off and take the discs out. They're very close to the edge of the table. So any little accessory item might be in the way, like a cord for a charger. Right, I have turned it off. I will turn it around. Now, where is the cover for this? I don't know. So there's the underside of this beautiful drive. And I will have to refer to the instructions. But I do believe that on the circuit board here, now this is going to be interesting. It's got to come off. Something's got to come off. Or maybe there's got to be. Anyway, I will figure it out. Other people have done it. I can do this. Anyway, but here's the joy of it all. On the back. Serial port. Oh, 2 serial ports. One at the top, one at the bottom, IEEE in the middle. Now the 2 things, they didn't join the different buses. So it was still, like you couldn't have your 64 and your PET talk to each other or do anything. But you could certainly back up faster. And they were cool. Now, of course, the sad thing is, years ago, I remember when this drive was first being introduced. Let me see at the back here. The World of Commodore was coming. That was the great big show at the International Center in Toronto. And here comes these people who spent a bunch of money I don't believe the people who made the drives were there, but they had, or maybe they were around. But anyway, the drive was going to be on sale at the World of Commodore, and here's Commodore, instead of saying, "Oh, this is wonderful, another thing that makes our um, our product more appealing to people. This is great. Wow, cool. And gee, maybe we should just buy this company and make the drives ourselves." But oh no, they had to do everything possible to make it that these drives could not be sold at the show. And basically, the MSD-1 was identical to this. Turn it around, see? Oh yeah. Close that door. Except, of course, it only had one drive, but it was thinner. And I didn't really see the, well, I mean, the greatness, of course, is having both interfaces. But I really, compared to the dual, the single was just like, oh yeah, 1541. But I guess it probably was faster. I don't know if it was at all faster in doing things on the 64 or the VIC-20. But anyway. So, of course, Commodore, they're oh no. I think they started going on about, doesn't have Ontario Hydro approval or something other. Anyway, so I think somehow they did, or CSA approval. They did get it. So it had UL, which is like from the States. I think somehow they did get it resolved and that they were there. Otherwise, it probably would have ended up kind of like what happened with Chuck Peddle in the 6502 chips years before at, I guess it was CES, where, okay, you can't sell it here, but we have a hotel suite. So just come and visit us at the hotel suite. That will be fine. Anyway, Commodore was a great company, but sometimes they were stupid. And really, you know what? If they'd been smart, talk about vertical integration, they would have gone to the MSD2 people and said, let's work together. Or, you know what? We're going to buy your company. And there would have been a lot more of these, because then they could have cranked up their international production all over the world and made a whole whack of them, and probably it would have been cost a lot less to make, and they could have made tons of money, and the MSD2 people would have been happy, and you know. Anyway, well, I am pleasantly surprised to find that this is working, but I will, oh yeah, I see the other circuit board. I will have to sort out this capacitor issue before things happen, and I'm just pleased that it hasn't happened yet. I am pleased. So this, what is this? Microsystems Development Inc. floppy disk drive. 13572. Is that really the name? I don't know. No, not at all. Not at all. Maybe that's just the version of the board. Anyway, well, good. This is good. If you have any questions or comments, or you have one of these drives and you know of things that I should know before I start digging into it, please send me a message. I'm going to stick this video up almost immediately after I have recorded it, because this is worthy. Anyway, even though this is not a Commodore product, it is part of Commodore history, and it's part of the PET history, and I will in fact make sure that this, or at least one of these, because I know I have another. I know when I was taking apart the pile of disk drives in the pool room, there was another one there. I should check it out too. But of course, I'm trying to get on with the portrait so I can get on to things. But I should check it out as will. I should. Anyway, the disk drives in these things are called Tech FB 501s. I seem to remember hearing stories that there was some luggable something that was an IBM compatible at the time that used the same drives. But I am not at all sure. I used to know what it was. It might have been a compact something or whatever. And of course, way back when, nobody wanted them. Now, of course, they're probably priceless. Because, of course, finding replacements of these drives, I think, is not easy. I think. But once again, I will look to the internet and see what I can find. So here it is. The MSD SD-2. A beautiful thing, a beautiful creation, a wonderful part of being in the world of Commodore. And who knows? Maybe I'll see about some of these ROM upgrades and copying disks in 9 seconds. I can't imagine. Although I do remember hearing stories. And I think I have one 5841 that has this funny plug on the back that looks kind of like a joystick thing. And I think that was called the 21-second copy thing. Never saw it work, but supposedly it did. You would put, it was kind of like you took the chip out, you put the socket thing in, you put the chip back in, and then it had this little cable, and both drives had to have it, and of course there was software involved, I'm sure. Indeedy. Well, I'm just kind of speechless that this is working, but I do not want to work it too hard right yet. I don't. It's funny, I'm looking at the fuse thing. Don't. Now that is weird. I'm looking at the fuse thing, and the back is off. Oh, I see. It's been shorted out. The fuse is missing. And somebody has basically taken some wires and shorted it out. Interesting. Well, perhaps that's another thing I'll look to find, is a replacement fuse, and I will put things back as they should be. One thing that I do notice that looks pretty handy is that, like, the reason they were able to do that so easily is because it does look like most of the electrical and other such connections in here have removable connectors. No unsoldering and cutting and doing things. Like even on the power switch, the things can be pulled off and put back on. And the fuse thing, there's these two little pink things that would plug onto the fuse thing. But there's basically some sort of intermediary something that actually may be a fuse without any cover. Maybe. It looks like it might have that look to it. I'll find out. Anyway, thanks so much for being here. Stay tuned for more stories about the MSD SD-2 super disk drive. And they call the super disk drive, and you know what? It was. Bring it on. See you again soon. So hard to tip my hat when it's backwards. Bye for now.